I have found personally that the more that I live my life aligned with what is right for me, the smaller and smaller my friend group gets, because you start to value the type of people and situations that bring you energy. It's sort of like, you could think about it this way. Energy is the truth teller here when it comes to what's authentic to you. And when you're in a situation that is aligned with who you actually are and what you value, it's almost like you can plug into a light socket and you feel energized and lit up by the people around you or what you're doing. And the same is true about being in the wrong situation or the wrong room. You've had those experiences, right? Where you walk in and you're all feeling confident and alive and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, whoop, pull the plug out of the socket because I don't feel any energy right here. You have to start to pay attention when you want to live as your true self to what spaces, places, and people restrict your energy and what places, spaces, and people expand your energy. Because you do have a life force energy. And when you are living your life in a way that is true to who you actually are, you do come alive. It's rocket fuel for your soul. It propels you forward. It gives you a sense of purpose and passion, and it can make you unstoppable. So I know what you're thinking. Okay, Mel, that's great. I get it. I can think of situations where I've been around people that drain my life force energy, and I was a doormat and a people pleaser, and I was not myself. I get it. I also know the few people in my life where I feel like I can be myself. But how do I do this? How do I start to be and live as my true self? Well, let's find the energy. I'm going to give you some questions to really think about because the energy doesn't lie. Where in your life do you feel the most energized and excited and expansive? I want you to really think about that, okay? Are there certain people that when their name just pops up on your phone, you're like, oh, something opens up? Are there ways that you're spending your time that you just get lost in time because you just enjoy doing it so much? What really makes you come alive? Who excites you? What are the things in your life that you look forward to? And if you can't think about anything, you're so drained by your life, you're so off track, I want you to think back to your childhood or think back to a point in your life where you were just happier. You felt more energized. You had more to look forward to. And ask yourself, what was I doing when I was happier? Maybe you were on a soccer team when you were in college and you were often with groups of friends exercising or training. Could you add that back in now by joining a gym? Could you sign up for a 5K? Could you get a bunch of friends to go for a hike this weekend? Maybe when you were younger, you spent hours drawing. You would just get lost in a puzzle, or playing cards, or creating intricate worlds or fascinating movies in your mind, or these little clay animation things that you would make at the dining room table. Or maybe you were building things. You were happiest when you were remodeling your house yourself and painting every room after work. Maybe you were writing or playing with animals or making people laugh with your hilarious sense of humor and taking an improv class. That thing that made you happy, that thing that made you come alive. That's the starting point to opening up to more happiness, to more of your true self. It might just mean something small, putting spirituality or meditation back into your life. Whatever it is that makes you feel more energized and more expanded, more like yourself. Wouldn't it be great to feel more like yourself? That's what I'm talking about. Because when you get honest with yourself about what uniquely makes you feel like you, and you start to take the little actions that insert little bits of happiness, little bits of you, things that are right in front of your face, back into your life right now, your true self comes to the surface. When you pick up the pen, when you start doing the creative projects, when you go back to church, when you start training for that 5K, when you get out into the woods every weekend, that's what's going to make you feel like you. And look, because you're not doing it right now, it might not feel that easy to do, but I promise you, This is exactly what you need to do. And it is so much easier than trying to be like everybody else. I want you to reclaim your life force energy back for yourself and start building a life that feels more authentically like you. Being yourself is energizing. And when you stop pretending to be somebody else and you start allowing yourself to just live your life in a way that makes you feel more expanded, well, that's going to make you more confident. Being yourself creates confidence. Because the more that you pretend to be somebody that you're not, the more that you pretend to like things that you don't really like to do, the more self-doubt, the more fear and paralysis that you're going to feel. I recently had this epiphany. I am a member of a family where everybody in my family loves to ski. And for years, I have pretended that I like to ski. And you want to know the truth? I don't like to ski. I really don't. And I finally said to my family this winter, you know what, guys? I love that we're a ski family, but I'm not a ski family person. And so you guys can ski, but I'm not going to really ski anymore. And I don't really feel the pressure to ski. And I want to tell you something. It was so liberating. Were they disappointed? Of course, because they want me out on the slopes with them. I don't want to do it. It doesn't bring me any joy. And I'm so done pretending to like things that I don't actually like. And so that's a simple example of how liberating it is and how much more confidence that you feel when you give yourself permission to just be you. And I'm going to give you another example. And this is really important because this one crosses into your professional life. And so I'm going to tell you a story from a couple decades ago. When I was in law school, believe it or not, check this out. Back in the early 90s, women did not wear pants when they worked in a large law firm. Like, not allowed to wear pants. How freaking bizarre is that? Well, that was just the way that it was, okay? And the thing is that when you talk about being your authentic self, I was just never a gal to wear a pencil skirt to work. First of all, you can't sit in them. I can't walk in them either. Secondly, it's just not my thing. And so I remember here I am in the early 90s. I'm in my third year of law school where everybody's panic-stricken about getting a job and you're applying to jobs and all of these big firms are coming to the campus to interview you, to hire you for jobs so that when you graduate, you have a job. And so I go to the mall and I go to Ann Taylor and I buy this navy blue pantsuit. It had this big wide belt on the blazer. It was just smoking awesome, especially for the early 90s. And here I am, I'm all dressed up to walk into my interviews, and I walk up the stairs to the main hall at Boston College Law School for my first interview. And as I'm walking up the stairs, a friend of mine is walking down the stairs, and he's like, whoa, I just knocked over my tea glass. This was so, confronting. And he says to me, are you wearing that to the interview? Have you lost your mind, Mel? You know you're not going to get hired if you're wearing pants? And I said, yeah, no one I would want to work for. And here are the facts. Wearing a pair of pants meant that 95% of the places that I interviewed for, they didn't offer me a job. But I'm going to tell you what, I think it's the smartest move that you could make in life to be yourself. I mean, just imagine the alternative where you have to walk into a job every day where you not only can't wear the kind of clothes that you like, but you don't feel like you can be yourself. I've had jobs like that. I'm sure you have too. How does it feel to sit at a job where you can't be yourself? It's draining. So wherever it is in your life that you're feeling afraid or full of doubt or you're feeling drained and you're sitting there wearing a skirt and you wish you were wearing pants, I'm going to tell you something. You're not showing up as your authentic self. And the mistake that you're making is the mistake that I made for a long time. You're waiting for confidence so that you can change this. And I am here to tell you, confidence is waiting for you to show up. And I know this is easier said than done. This is the hardest thing to do, to be your authentic self. It takes bravery because you're not going to feel like it. You're going to feel a little bit scared when you first start showing up as yourself and making decisions that really align with you and prioritizing your time and your energy to the things that really make you feel expanded. Here is the definition, backed by research and science, of what confidence actually is. Confidence is not a feeling. Confidence is an action. Confidence is the willingness to try. That is your new definition of confidence. I'm going to say it again. Confidence is the willingness to try. So even when you're full of doubt, if you move ahead and you do it anyway, you are building confidence. And the other thing I want you to understand is that confidence is not just something that some people are born with, some people aren't. That's not how this rolls. Confidence is something that you build every single day. Because again, let's go back to the definition. Confidence is the willingness to try. It's not a personality trait. It is a skill. And this is fantastic news, because if it's a skill, it means you can practice this skill and you can build confidence, because every time you try, you become more confident in who you're becoming. And that's the truth about life. It's that simple. Being yourself creates confidence. And that ties into this definition. I want you to try more. I want you to be brave, because every time you start to show up as yourself, the confidence is going to build. And look, if you have trouble pushing yourself to try new things, if you have trouble wearing the pants to the interview, if you have trouble putting yourself out there and speaking up and taking risks, here's a quick hack that you can use. It helps to find a partner to practice this with, okay? So who could that person be in your life? This little confidence pusher person. Do you have a very positive roommate? Do you have a brother or a sister or a cousin? Do you have an old friend? Do you have a buddy at work? Somebody that is going to push you a little bit out of your comfort zone. Somebody that is willing to get on board, to help you try some new things, to take some risks, to encourage you. And look, if you don't have somebody like that in your corner, just imagine that I'm there, because I'm always in your corner. You can imagine, well, what would Mel say right now as you're getting dressed for the interview? You know what I would say. Wear the pants. If you feel like yourself in the pants, wear the pants. Stop pretending that you're not that person. Be yourself. And so if you're somebody that wants to put yourself out there more, practice going up to people and talking about the business that you're launching. And if you don't have that cousin or that sibling or that roommate that's like, come on, get over there. Just imagine that your friend Mel Robbins is there going, come on, sign up for that 5K. Come on, let's go. I'll be the one that's whispering in your ear, we can do it. You can do it. I'm going to be right there by your side. You got to learn to be yourself first, because that's what creates the confidence. Don't sit around waiting for the confidence. You got to break through the self-doubt by being yourself, and you're going to see your confidence building. When you start putting yourself first, you are going to disappoint people, and that's okay. And if you start making decisions that put you first and that make you happier in your life, and someone else can't handle their own disappointment over it, that's their problem, not yours. And today, you and I are going to throw out that rule book on how to live life according to everyone else, because you will never, ever, ever live a life that you're meant to live if you're constantly worried about what other people are thinking.